今回はアメリカでは未だホットな MVP についての話題をお届けします。大谷選手とジャッジ選手の MVP を脅かす選手がテーマの討論番組です。大谷選手の4年連続 MVP は果たして現地放送を翻訳してお届けいたします。
American League MVP, Aaron Judge. National League MVP is Shohei Ohtani.
It is Judge, it's Ohtani, and we got to get used to it. And take a look, 3 or more MVPs in a 4-season span. They joined Barry Bonds. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, 2 faces of the game. They're here to stay. And I guess the question now is, what will it take to dethrone Ohtani and Judge? Back in Studio 3, it's Greg with Steve Phillips. Let's start with the National League side. You have Ohtani, a full year as a pitcher, we're expecting next year, full year as a DH, and the one award he doesn't have is the Cy Young. So knowing Shohei Ohtani, he's going to want all the hardware. So what would it take? Name the player and what that player would have to do to dethrone Shohei Ohtani next year.
All right, so the way I'm going to look at it is it's got to be a toolsy guy, where he can impact the game with both his power and his speed. We saw Ronald Acuna Jr. a couple years ago, 40-70 guy. Yep. I'm going to go with Ellie De La Cruz. He has light tower power, absolutely light tower power and blazing speed. He's a guy that could be a 50-50 guy if he makes more contact, right? He takes his walks. He just has to make more contact. Understand, he's so special that if he touches the baseball, he's got a chance to hit out of the ballpark in a great hitter's ballpark. So I think Ellie De La Cruz could be a guy that could hit both the stolen base and the home run numbers to a threshold beyond where Ohtani has been.
Defensive metrics, they kind of hurt his WAR a little bit. Do you know whose defensive metrics helps his WAR? And I'm just thinking from the electorate, how they vote, and wins above replacement matters. If PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, literally duplicated his first half and did not fall off as dramatically as he did and was batting 7th in the lineup for Craig Counsell, let's play pretend and say PCA has exactly the same numbers in the second half next year as he did in the first half of 2025. What would those numbers look like? 43 home runs, 121 RBIs, 46 stolen bases. Look at the F-WAR. Are you kidding me? So, like you said, you have to do it on both sides of the ball because Ohtani's going to be a pitcher. Maybe that WAR would be high enough to get the electorate to vote for him. As for the American League side, what would it take to dethrone Aaron Judge?
I'm going to take your PCA argument and apply it if a guy had a first half like his second half was, Julio Rodriguez, he could be an MVP. I mean, we always see him turn around in the second half of the season. He's got a career 900 OPS in the second half. The first half, though, he's down around 737. It takes him a while to get going. Now, we saw him perform in the postseason. This is a guy whose defensive metrics are going to be there for him, too. If WAR matters, he's going to be there. You take a look at his first half and second half here, and the numbers are clear. That second half, he is a much better player. And I think he's young enough, like PCA, that the maturity level could come into play, that now we're going to get the full 162. J-Rod is the guy that could supplant Aaron Judge.
Yeah, but and the only reason I said Ohtani, because of the two-way thing, you have to do it on both sides of the ball, the WAR will come into play. If you're going to try to dethrone Aaron Judge, your offensive numbers have to be staggering. I'm just looking for a pure hit tool. I think Nick Kurtz is the next great one.
Good one.
The great one. When he was drafted, I said this kid is Sean Casey hit for average skills with Jim Thome power. I think he proved me right. Rookie of the year in the American League. You're looking for somebody that can hit over 50 home runs, hit over 330, kind of match Aaron Judge swing for swing with less salary. I mean, look at these numbers, a 162 pace for Nick Kurtz. That could get it done.
2 left-handed hitters that slug for 600 or better, Kurtz and Ted Williams. As rookies. I mean, pretty special.
Do you know what made me cry when I was doing this?
He runs like Sean Casey, too, though. I did want to point that out.
I love my guy, Sean Casey. Do you know what made me cry thinking about who could dethrone Aaron Judge? I did not mention a catcher that hit 60 home runs.
Oh.
Because I think the electorate spoke. And I know a lot of people did vote for Cal Raleigh. It was a very close MVP race. We got into this in our bullpen area of this building, and we were sparring back and forth.
We were.
And you said something earlier in this show where you said that Cody Bellinger actually gives you more value if you're the Yankees because you don't have to pay him $400 million, right? Compared to Kyle Tucker. And then use the word value.
Sure.
And I'm almost thinking that word needs to be buried now because the Hank Aaron Award is for the most outstanding offensive player. if you go back almost for 10 years now, whoever wins that award is more than likely going to be the MVP. Can we just name the MVP the Hank Aaron Award?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but we have had cases where guys have won the MVP. They don't have the highest offensive season, the best offensive season. They haven't had the best WAR. Bryce Harper's a guy that a few years ago was 7th in WAR and actually won the MVP and was a guy that contributed in different ways, in clutch ways, in gritty ways. And so here are some recent ones that did not lead in WAR. Ronald Acuna Jr., actually Mookie Betts had a better WAR than Ronald Acuna Jr. did that year, but Acuna won. Paul Goldschmidt, going back to 22. Arenado, the better year. Mike Trout. Alex Bregman had a WAR almost a whole run beyond Mike Trout, but Trout won the MVP. And so I don't know that it's as statistically based as what you're thinking. I think the writers are getting it right.
They're getting it right.
I do.
All right, so you think we should keep the word value?
I do. I do.
So can I help you define value?
Absolutely.
All right, so I want to start with historical value. A player brings historical value to a season. Aaron Judge knows this. He set the single-season American League home run record, and he beat out a two-way player in Shohei Ohtani. Do you remember that?
I do, but he also had a better WAR. He had a better OPS. He had better offensive numbers as well.
All right, so I want to talk about how Cal Raleigh had the historical season. He broke Sal Perez's single-season home run record for a catcher, most home runs by a switch hitter, Mickey Mantle, most home runs by a Mariner, Ken Griffey Jr. This is the historical winner of 2025, Cal Raleigh. So he brought historical value. What about positional value? He caught 121 games. There were only 4 other catchers to catch 121 games. So I'm comparing their averages offensively to Cal Raleigh through those 121 games. So when Cal Raleigh was a catcher, he had 257 with 49 home runs and 98 RBIs. Comparing him to JT Realmuto, Patrick Bailey, William Contreras, and Austin Wells, the only catchers to catch 121 or more games, I mean, that's not even close. So let's play the same game for Aaron Judge. He only played 95 games. So right fielders to play 95 or more games in right field. Aaron Judge hit 33 home runs and drove in 77. All right, that's 16 more home runs. That's 21 more RBIs than other right fielders who play 95 or more games. It sounds like
an OPS 400 points better than everybody else.
Sure, but he's not a catcher. So it's not apple versus apple. This is apples versus oranges. Now let's look at, you like monetary value. I'm glad you brought up the Bellinger versus the Kyle Tucker thing. Look at this. For 2025, Cal Raleigh was paid $11 million. $10 million of that came from a signing bonus. But I'm just going to play along. $11 million to Cal Raleigh. Aaron Judge got $40 million. Do you know why these guys got $11 million and $40 million? Because of what they averaged, what their value was going into 2025. What value was that? Let's use 162 averages. For Cal Raleigh, entering 2025, he averaged a .218 average with 32 home runs and 88 RBIs. But in 2025, he leaped his average to 247, almost doubled his home run average, right? Look at Aaron Judge. He got paid $40 million a year for a reason. He averaged 51 home runs and 117 RBIs. Man, the average is great and the OPS is much improved. But there's also something to be said about individual improvement value. You did this for a living, Steve. You put rosters together. So if you allocate $11 million to catcher, $40 million to your right fielder, you're expecting to guys that live up to the money that you're paying them. When Cal Raleigh exceeds the value of his contract that dramatically, then you have more room to play with in other areas. That's why you can go get Suarez at third, Josh Naylor at first at the deadline. He's not clogging that up. I'm just leaving that position out that he's a catcher. The fact that he improved so dramatically, he had the historical value, the positional value compared to other catchers who have the wear and tear of catching 121 or more games, and the monetary value along with his improvement. I don't know where you can say, other than just bare bones, OPS, and WAR, that Aaron Judge is the MVP of the American League.
Yeah, so the contract status doesn't matter because what you're effectively saying, no, because what you're saying is if the guy would have a better chance to win if he takes a worse contract. The other thing is Aaron Judge was a full-blown free agent and was out in the market to be able to take advantage of the marketplace. Cal Raleigh signed an extension without getting to free agency, so it's a completely different animal when it comes to the money. And then your argument could be Nick Kurtz should be the MVP. because he made the minimum salary and had the great season that he did, and that's even better than both Judge and Raleigh because he made the minimum salary and Raleigh made $11 million.
No. That's decided by a collectively bargained agreement. This is a front office which you used to work in saying, hey, Cal, we believe this is what you're worth. Yeah. And he said, okay. Just like a front office told Aaron Judge, this is what you're worth. He said, okay.
I actually think that you actually got what you wanted, is that the writers actually did what you believed. They actually looked at Cal Raleigh and said his catching was so valuable, 13 of the writers, he was 2 votes away from being an MVP. 2 votes away from being an MVP. And the difference between Judge and Raleigh was 197 points. The offensive statistics were completely skewed in the favor of Judge, and he still got 13 votes. He got within 2 of it. That is a tremendous acknowledgement about his value as a catcher. It just wasn't enough considering the great season that Aaron Judge put together.
I wish I could have a conversation with Sparky Anderson and Earl Weaver. And again, I love Aaron Judge. I love Aaron Judge. I love Aaron Judge.
God,
but if I talk to those 2 guys, they'd have a cigarette in their mouth. I go, hey, Sparky, hey, Earl, someday there'd be a catcher who hits 60 bombs and he won't win the MVP.
You know what they'd say? He'll be the best catcher that season, though.
Stop. The profanity that would come out of their mouths.
Switch hitter.
Oh, my gosh. Along with their chewing tobacco that would fall on the desk.
Raleigh's the best at subsets, catching and switch hitting.
You make me sweat. Our makeup artist is waiting.
いかがだったでしょうか。来年の MVP レースも今から楽しみですね。本格的なストーブリーグに突入した MLB。本チャンネルではタイムリーに情報をお届けしていきます。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。